All right, cadets, you just heard the double tongue excerpt. So hopefully I have some information and pointers that would be useful to you. The first thing, first and foremost, is that we need to strengthen the back of our tongue. We need to make it as close to the clarity of the front of the tongue as possible. A couple things you can try to do is play all of your scales with just the back of the tongue. It's going to get, it's going to be hard to cross the finish line with all that, but the easier that becomes, the easier the double tongue is going to become. So play whatever solos or etudes, excerpts that you're working on currently, and just try and use just the back of the tongue and get it as clean as the front of the tongue. Next thing I have, which I accidentally wrote at the bottom, should be higher up. If you can't say it, you can't play it. So if you're having problems playing this evenly, just take away the horn, try and say the rhythm at the same tempo, and see if you can do that evenly 3 times in a row. If you can't, that probably means that you're not ready to move on to the horn. So there's no shortcuts with double tonguing. You need to slow everything down. Play it at an extremely slow tempo, slower than you think you need to, and make that nice and even. Go for the sound that you want when it's faster on, okay? So going back to this excerpt here. This excerpt is broken up into 2/8 bars, and it kind of looks like it's very segmented. That was the same thing when I was working on this earlier today that I found myself falling into. We want to make sure that we're coloring a bigger phrase than just like these small bars here. So one app that I love to use when I start to get caught up in my air supply is written down here. It's called drumbit.app, and it's a fun little tool that I like to use. It's free, it's online, and it makes practicing a whole lot more fun. So let me give you a quick example of this. This is the website. It has a bunch of different settings on it. You can have different types of beats, like a hip-hop beat or a jazz beat, whatever. It's a lot of fun to work up with, and it kind of makes practicing a whole lot more fun. The thing I use it for is that it creates me to think less in these 2/8 bars and more of the phrasing of the whole line. So if you're getting caught up with your air, maybe this will be a tool that could be helpful to you. Now moving on here, we have beat ones in our excerpt. So the beat ones are very, very important in terms of having a direction of where to go. But like I just said, we want to make sure that we're not just thinking about each bar. So I want you to think about each accent that we have as beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4, and then we start a new bar. Instead of having 4 bars in there, think about it as 4 beats. This is going to help us kind of phrase all of these together and have a more even sound throughout. One other thing that we should be focusing on here is after the accent, the 30-second notes that follow. We want to make sure that this is not late, because then you'll have to do the catch-up game. So make sure that as soon as you hit that accent that you're ready to go right on those 30-second notes, so you don't start to fall behind. Again, slow this down a lot. Try and listen to exactly where we are, because it's harder at that faster tempo. Slow it all the way down. Make sure that those 30-second notes are coming right back in and we have plenty of air behind them, and this excerpt should be on its way. Just make sure, again, slow everything down, make it the sound that you want to have, and then it'll slowly build up from there, 2 clicks, 4 clicks, and so on. So, hope this was helpful. Remember, drumbit.app, it'll make it a whole lot more fun.